Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Darren Jacobs and welcome to another episode of Monday Night Mayhem, fresh off of everything that went down at the Uprising pay-per-view. It was one hell of a crazy one, loads of twists, loads of turns, but right now it looks like we're going to be greeted by the WIW champion himself, Skeens. He is out here tonight to address everyone with Lachlan and AD Nathaniel by his side by the looks of things. Lachlan and AD Nathaniel getting very active at the pay-per-view last night, not only part of the Hardcore Championship 6-pack challenge, but also helping the Linebacks to keep the Tag Team Championships. I have no idea what that was about. Of course, they had a very active and vocal point in the WIW Championship match, helping Skeens to retain the championship. And a very, very unhappy crowd see Justice entering the arena. And what they are out here to do or to say, I don't know. A lot of speculation, of course. Skeens will be very happy that he'll be returning to his home country of USA for the next pay-per-view. But he has no idea what waits ahead of him, and we don't know either. So let's hear what Skeens has to say. Order in the court, people. Last night at Uprising, I served justice to Aaron Albright and retained my title in the process. That wasn't the only justice that was served that night, though. As you may have seen, my boys Lachlan and Nathaniel got involved in the tag team title match last night. The reason for this is because we wanted to send a message. Mort Goldberg, we are tired of your reign of tyranny over Mayhem. We believe that you are clearly unfit to lead this brand, and we aren't the only ones who believe that. You play favorites. You put me and others in horrible stipulations. You do not consult anyone on your stupid decisions, and worst of all, you treat your champions like crap all the time. So we are making it crystal clear right now. We want Goldberg out. But don't worry, people. We have found a much better suited candidate. A man who knows how actually to run a successful operation in WIW. And also knows how and what it takes to lead. He is a true leader if I have ever seen one. So without further ado, I'd like you to meet the man who should be the next Monday Night Mayhem General Manager. No way. Really? Well, it sounds like, and I think we'll check for certain in a second, it looks like there has been some form of temporary alliance or truce between Coach Wilson and the rest of the team that is Justice. The Linebacks and Justice are pleading for Coach Wilson to be the new general manager of Monday Night Mayhem. And that is a big claim. It's clear that these two teams have both had their collisions with the general manager over the last couple of weeks or so. But Jesus Christ, this is a huge step up. They're talking about overthrowing the general manager right now. This is insane stuff. Right off of all the craziness of the pay-per-view, now we've got this to deal with. Coach Wilson declaring he wants to be the general manager of the show. Let's hear what he has to say about all this. Thank you very much, Skeens, and don't think I've forgotten about the other part of our deal. As agreed, for your help in keeping my job intact here, the Linebacks grant you and your team a tag team title match. You see, everyone, a good GM recognizes talent when he sees it. He also knows how to win. The Linebacks are 4-time tag team champions under my guidance and my leadership. I know that I can make this already strong brand even better than it is. Fight Night would never even come close in comparison to Mayhem again. Goldberg has proven himself to be an unfit leader of this brand, and we intend to take back control of our brand. See what I mean, people? Bear in mind that before this, Lachlan and AD Nathaniel have both had run-ins with the Linebacks before. But despite the team rivalries, Coach Wilson here was able to use the opportunity that was given to him to assert some control. Something that Goldberg clearly hasn't quite grasped. Wilson, I thank you for your cooperation, and you have my full support in your search to become the GM. Justice has one mission: to make sure that justice is served to everyone who offends. Well, guess what, Goldberg? We're finally putting you on trial, and we find you guilty. Alright, enough of this stupidity. You two are absolutely pathetic. You call yourself a leader, Wilson? Real leaders don't have to cheat and scheme behind the back of the people. Both Justice and the Linebacks will pull whatever pathetic, desperate scheme they have to so they can hold their titles and pretend to be real fighters for a little bit longer. Wilson, if you think what happened at the pay-per-view is going unpunished, you're wrong. I might not be able to fire you now, but your team will give the Chaos Twins a rematch in tonight's main event for the tag team titles. Your little betrayal is over, so I wouldn't waste your time, boys. See right there. No respect for his champions. We come out here to discuss our concerns for the brand, and then we get thrown into a title match for the second night in a row. You, sir, are a disgrace. But you're right. We can't do anything about it. But there is someone who can. You see, we've spoken to a few people, and this person in particular already knows how poorly of a job you have done so far. In fact, he's already told you that in person. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of WYW, Blake Austin.
Shut up and sit down.
Wilson, don't you dare go anywhere. Just because I'm here doesn't mean I'm bailing you out of the tag team title match tonight. If your GM books it, you do it. Simple as that. Something you haven't been making very clear, Mort. Mort, I have already come here once and promised you that if you couldn't get control of your roster, then I would remove you from your position. And just look at last night. Justice ruined the tag team title match. Cashman interfered with a fight night match for whatever reason. And on top of all that, you didn't even win a single briefcase. Mort, I gave you a second chance and you blew it. And therefore you leave me no choice. Mort Goldberg, you're... Wait a second. Listen, I know I haven't managed to stamp my foot down enough here, but that's because I haven't been using all of my cards. So let me make all of you a deal. At the next pay-per-view, Justice and the Linebacks can team up together with no titles on the line, and they will fight just one guy of my choosing. Just one. If they win, I will stand down as the general manager of Mayhem, and you can give the job to whoever you want, but if I win, my job stays, and they will have to do what I say when I say it from now on in. I know I'm asking a lot here, Mr. Austin, but if you can give me one chance, I promise you, you won't regret it. You do just understand what you just said, right? Let me get this straight. You're willing to gamble your entire career as a GM in a 4-on-1 handicap match. 2 of the 4 being the tag team champions. You are crazy. You know what? Since your job is on the line one way or another, I guess you got a deal. But just to clarify, if your guy does not win the 4-on-1 handicap match, you are gone from WIW and you will never be the GM of any of my shows ever again. For your own sake, Mort, I hope you know what the hell you are doing.
Shut up and sit down.
So let me make sure I've got this right. The general manager is gambling his entire career on a 4-on-1 handicap match on a pay-per-view. Are you... what? Whoever this guy is must have mad respect from the general manager to be put in that position. But I guess we have to move on with the card because we've got a pay-per-view 4 weeks away, and we've got to start building up before we head to America for this huge pay-per-view. The first person out to the ring tonight is Kaiju, failing to capture the Money in the Bank briefcase for Mayhem. In fact, I believe no Mayhem stars managed to walk out with briefcases, as I believe the general manager pointed out earlier. It doesn't look good on Goldberg's record, that's for sure. Then again, I don't think he's doing a great job of staying in control of the situation. Look at what he just signed up for. But Kaiju, a very angry woman, and she doesn't like it when she doesn't get any opportunities, or doesn't take advantage of the opportunities that she gets. So this should be an interesting one. She's up against someone else who failed that night to capture the briefcase. It is Isabella Vega, the first person who qualified on the Mayhem side of things. And of course, we'll be looking for some future contenders for the women's division. But for right now, we know after the Money in the Bank qualifying situation that Violet will be taking on Haley Bowen for the Women's Championship. And you guys will get to vote on the stipulation. That is right, you guys will get to vote on the stipulation between the two. That'll all be done on Twitter. So if you're not following us on Twitter, be sure to make yourself known, drop a follow, and make sure that you get your say by voting on what is happening. That is going to be insane. A match, to be fair, Violet was a top star always, and we'll have to see who will be able to step up next. Kaiju has already had her turn at hunting the title, and she hasn't been too successful hunting down the title. She's faced Bowen twice. She's lost to Bowen twice. And maybe if Violet takes the championship, maybe Kaiju will rise again and attempt once more to take the championship. Because the biggest problem Kaiju's having, as she's screaming in frustration here in the early goings after a dominant start, the problem that Kaiju has been having is that she dominates everyone in this division. But then when it gets to the big pressure matches, like the title matches, like the Money in the Bank ladder match, she chokes under the pressure. And you can't afford to have that reputation. There are a few people here who do have that reputation. And right now, like I say, she's already lost a title match, a non-title match with the champion. And she's not done great. And the Money in the Bank situation, she hardly even attempted to climb the ladder. I'm not even sure she did climb the ladder at any point in that matchup. But Kaiju, as she's showing you right now, she's a dominant force within inside the ring. And right now, Isabella Vega is feeling the full brunt of the offense, but now maybe she can get some of her own on that counter. And the Japanese star has come to Mayhem with a big reputation. Of course, all her amazing work that she did in the Road to Glory Season 2, winning it all after beating the fan favorite of Joyce Andrews. She definitely earned her roster spot the hard way. Beautiful exploded there by Isabella Vega. Vega, who started at the top and has slowly fallen down the card. She was the first person to ever challenge Sandra Piper for the Women's Championship. Obviously, we all know how that turned out, but Isabella Vega has been a solid presence in Mayhem. But right now, she's struggling to deal with the dominant force that is Kaiju. But then again, can you blame her? Oh no, submission hold already. Torture rack very early on in this matchup. Is it enough to make her tap? Vega, she's quite a submissionist herself, so maybe it might not do the trick. Kaiju relinquishes the hold. It looks like she has something else in mind, and we know what comes next. Get ready for this, because it's a fast-paced drop when she hangs it up. Look at that. Just splatting her down on the apron. Beautiful move there by Kaiju, and straight into the cover, and Kaiju knocks it off. Big victory for her here tonight. Nice, clean, and quick. Kaiju once again reasserting the fact that she believes she is a title contender at this very moment. She proved her dominance throughout this one and showed why she's at the top of the rankings here in Kaiju. It continues her hunt to the top of the Mayhem Women's rankings. Enough. Cut the music. Haley Bowen, this has gone on for long enough. I have beaten all of the women on this pathetic roster twice over now, and I am sick of it. I am Kaiju. I am the most dominant woman in all of professional wrestling. Just because you managed to score a win over me doesn't change the fact that you are the only person who has yet to beat me. So why don't you come and fight me for the championship, Bowen? Because let's be real here, that isn't going to change. I will continue to destroy every woman on the roster to get what I want. And there isn't a woman on this roster physically capable of stopping me. Oh my. No way. Is this really her? Oh my goodness. Okay, Kaiju, you claim you've beaten everybody here in Mayhem so far. But I guarantee you haven't beaten this woman. We haven't seen her in months. But she's back. Sandra Piper. The two-time and longest reigning Mayhem's Women's Champion. The most dominant woman we have seen in WYW. And she is here. She is here confronting Kaiju by the looks of it. Kaiju was bad-mouthing the Mayhem Women's roster, saying there isn't anyone other than the champ who is capable of stepping up to her. Well, let me tell you now, Kaiju, you ain't gonna get a tougher opponent than this woman. Just ask the champ herself how much she had to go through to get the title off of Piper. And it looks like Piper is ready to stand up to Kaiju right now. And Sandra Piper making her presence known. And look at Kaiju trying to act unfazed as these two square off right now. Kaiju and Piper, two dominant Mayhem women. And these two just staring at each other right now. Oh, but look at this. Oh, Piper! Piper throws a shot at Kaiju. Well, you stepped on her turf, and it looks like she's ready to make her pay for it. Oh, God, look at this. Oh, no, we've seen this before. This torture submission she has on Kaiju. Kaiju, look at this. She's defenseless. She's being ragged around like a rag doll. And she's tapped out to her. Jesus Christ. The utter dominance of the former women's champion destroys Kaiju. Oh, and look at this. She's not done. Kaiju. Meet Sandra Piper. If you don't know who this is, you are in for a treat. You've already tapped out, and now look at this. It's getting even worse for you right now. This is just pure assault here from Sandra Piper, making an explosive re-entry here. Tilt-a-wall slam. Kaiju meets Sandra Piper. Sandra Piper has returned. Well, what does this mean for the Mayhem Women's Division? The most dominant woman in WIW history has returned, and she has put Kaiju on notice. Let's move on down the rest of the card. Welcome back, Sandra Piper. Well, I can't believe what I've seen. Sandra Piper returning to the red and black brand and confronting Kaiju, and Kaiju quickly realizing there she's not as dominant as she thought she was. Next up tonight, a #1 contenders match for the Cruiserweight Champion BJ Kids. And these people will all step into the ring. It is a triple threat match. First person down to the ring, a man who hasn't had much luck in the Cruiserweight division in the past. It is James Rowley, who's shown a bit more of an aggressive streak inside the ring as of late. But the party boy always down for a bit of fun as well. James Rowley, Road to Glory Season 1 winner. Yet to get his hands on any success other than the Cruiserweight Championship, which I just realized he has held. Almost forgot about that, but he didn't hold it for very long. For James Rowley to get back there now, especially with a new tyrant and control right now in BJ Kids, who's making it clear he isn't letting anyone get away with anything here in his new Cruiserweight division, as he showed at the pay-per-view by dominating both Jake Griffiths and El Muric. If you didn't see that match, go back and watch it. That was one hell of a contest. Next person down to the ring, someone who I believe has only had like 1 or 2 attempts at the Cruiserweight Championship. I believe he's only had the 1. He might not have even had that, to be fair. But this man, who showed himself very well in the Hardcore Championship 6-pack challenge at the Uprising pay-per-view, the man who's done incredibly well since becoming the Ultimate One, now has a chance to hunt title success again. Just as the general manager and everything that was made clear at the beginning of the show is a bit scramble, but once again, you guys will get the choice of the stipulation for this Cruiserweight Championship matchup. A bunch of options will be given to you, and you guys will get your say on who and what match type you want for the Cruiserweight Championship collision. But first, we need to find out who's getting that opportunity. PJ McNair and James Rowley already out here, and they're ready to capitalize on this opportunity. No strangers to the Cruiserweight division. McNair maybe a lot less. McNair at a big disadvantage actually in this matchup, because he is the only person in this ring who has not held the Cruiserweight Championship, because next out to the ring is the first ever, the inaugural Cruiserweight Champion himself, one of the hardest hitters in WIW, Oliver Regem, making his way down to the ring here tonight for this Cruiserweight Championship #1 contenders match. It has been a long time since we've seen Regem in the Cruiserweight division. He tried to find some success in the mid-card, but it hasn't worked out in his favor. So once again, he goes back to this side of the Cruiserweight division, competing in #1 contenders matches. And for Regem, we know he can do well in the Cruiserweight division. Like I said, first person to ever win it. And of course, BJ Kids, who was El Estrella Chico at the time, was actually a part of the first ever championship match, as was Jake Griffiths, funny enough, so he's no stranger to encountering the top dogs on the brand. Here we go. This is going to be a huge matchup. The bell rings and away we go. The winner will meet BJ Kids in a few weeks' time in America for what's going to be a spectacular Cruiserweight Championship match, whichever way it goes. Right now, James Rowley, who didn't exactly make friends with Oliver Regem a few weeks ago, after costing him his one-on-one opportunity of entry into the Money in the Bank ladder match. So Regem and Rowley already not on the best of terms, and maybe McNair will be able to use that to his advantage, but right now, under heavy fire, wow, very nicely done there. Regem went for the clothesline, perfectly timed duck by James Rowley, and he connects with a clothesline and going straight for McNair, who is struggling to get going here in this one. But Rowley and Regem keep seeming to collide in this one. McNair now might finally get some offense in, and he does with a beautifully timed kick to the skull. And Rowley's going to move out of the way for a second. As once again the striking power was on display. Went for a neck breaker, well counted, and now McNair with a free ring can capitalize. There's a swinging neck breaker. And for BJ Kids, for him to go one-on-one for the first time for the title is a big deal. Of course, he did just do a triple threat where he could have won the match twice if it was 2 out of 3, to be honest. He was so impressive in that matchup, and he has shown that he's ready to dominate the Cruiserweight division. It took him a little while to get there, and he's ready to dominate. But an opportunity for both Regem and for Rowley to go and hunt down the title again and potentially become 2-time Cruiserweight champions. And look at that, some people must have seen something online or something, because I can already see USA signs in the crowd. Everybody's very hyped to be going to America for this pay-per-view. And with most of the matches, either the choice of stipulation is for yours or the choice of opponent, as of course Brad Skeens will find out his opponent, as it is down to you. You guys will be given 4 options who you will find out who they are in a Fatal 4-Way match later on tonight. And you get to choose who will take on Brad Skeens in 4 weeks' time in the American pay-per-view. And now look at this. Beautifully timed there. And a fist across the jaw. And I'd like to point out, of course, that so far we haven't given a name to the pay-per-view yet. That is still to be confirmed. But we have confirmed the venue, confirmed the arena. Everything is all set up. We're just missing the name for right now. And Rowley, beautiful little 619 there, and a splash to follow through. Regem, meanwhile, waiting for him to finish, but Rowley had that very well scouted. And Rowley now staying on top of the situation, not giving Regem a second of control. Might have taken too long there to think about what he was going to do. Just settled for a snapmare. And Rowley now, right now in control for the second, but you might be hesitating a little too long here. He's deciding what he wants to do. He saw that hesitation a second ago as he was deciding where to put him. And it's these moments of doubt and hesitation that can cost you a championship match. And Rowley can't afford to let that happen. Oh, look at that. Well timed, though, by Rowley. Just paying enough attention to make that reversal happen. And, oh, look at that. There's the back fist. And you don't want to get caught in a striking battle with Regem. That won't work out in your favor. McNair now entering the fray. And all 3 of these men exchanging strikes. McNair managing to get behind. And now look at this. Rowley and Regem working together there to try and get rid of him. And as soon as he realized Regem that he was going for a cover, he broke it up. Regem and Rowley wanting to fight each other there and getting rid of the threat that is McNair. And now look at this, pounding him in the corner. Rowley in a bad spot. Regem, one of the toughest strikers in the business, showing exactly why he is the hardest hitter in the company. Several massive strikes in the corner there for a trapped James Rowley, and it might get even worse for him here. Should something big come in, maybe the discus clothesline, maybe the regen combo. So many vicious strikes. And now McNair, though, re-entering the fray, and a beautiful exploder. And now he's going to the top, maybe looking for the ultimate nightmare, but looks like he had other ideas, and instead, a drop kick to the back by McNair. Regem had other ideas. He didn't want it to go down that way. And now Regem, went to fly and Rowley misses. And now that might give McNair the opening here. Looking for it. The ultimate nightmare. No! Regem stole the opportunity. He tried to sneak in. He pushed McNair away to try and steal a cover. Little did he know McNair was going to get enough of a touch to get in the way. McNair now trying to get Regem out the way, so maybe he can finish Rowley here. But Regem, well sidestepped, and look at that up forearm. The damage he does is with his punches and kicks. Fully on display, and McNair down again. And now Rowley and Regem can fight it out. And look at that, there's a snapmare takedown. This time he follows it through, very nicely done. And BJ Kids must be watching on. And I don't know what he'd be thinking about this, to be fair. He's made it clear he doesn't care who fights him. He intends on retaining the title. He's going to have some tough opponents. Discus clothesline by Regem. And that's a beautiful clothesline. And straight into the cover. I don't think McNair's coming to his rescue. It didn't matter, though. Rowley manages to find a way out, and a clothesline there for McNair. And McNair might now be the target of something even worse than that. Regen combo! The Regen combo to McNair into the cover to become the Cruiserweight champion, #1 contender. McNair kicks it too. And it's been a long time since someone's kicked out of the regen combo. Very nicely done, but now McNair left alone in a ring with a very stunned Rowley. Oh, but Rowley, look at this, hooking the legs. Might be able to steal one here. He has done it. Rowley with the counter into the roll-up. And he has done it. James Rowley is the new #1 contender for the Cruiserweight title. What an amazing performance from all three men, but Rowley found an opportunity to take advantage, and he did. He was hanging on for dear life after that discus clothesline, and look at the impact on it. The follow-through was mental, but Rowley was able to capitalize on a stunned McNair after being hit with the regen combo, rolled him up, and James Rowley has finally regained some success, and he is once again back on the hunt for the Cruiserweight title. He has an opportunity to become a two-time Cruiserweight champion when we go to America in a few weeks' time. James Rowley, hyped as and looking at brating with his lady friends there, making it very clear that he is happy. He's very happy with the job he's done here tonight, and so he should be. An incredible performance from James Rowley. And BJ Kids, I hope you're watching, because this former Cruiserweight champion is a serious threat to your early days as champion. Let's move on down the rest of the card. Next up tonight, some action from the European champion. Of course, that is currently Siler Jordan, excuse me there. And Siler Jordan, of course, preparing for his first title defense, which will take place at the pay-per-view in his home country of the United States of America. A huge opportunity for Siler Jordan. He already knows his opponent, of course, due to everything that went down with the Money in the Bank qualifying. It is the natural-born thriller Siler Jordan that will be taking on the inaugural World Champion, Rage. That's right, Rage, after eliminating Siler Jordan in the Money in the Bank qualifiers, will take on Siler Jordan in his first ever defense as the European champion, as he takes this title to the United States of America in 4 weeks' time for pay-per-view. What an opportunity for both Rage and for Siler Jordan, who gets to fight in front of his home crowd. It might not be his hometown, but it was definitely his country. And of course, where a lot of wrestlers are from, loads of different parts of the world. Siler Jordan, the second person, I believe, from America to hold the European Championship, but he'll be the first person to take it home. And of course, you guys will get to vote on the stipulation for this match. Just like with most matches on the card, you will be able to vote for that, and that will all be done via Twitter, so be sure to be following me at The Gaming Play on Twitter to make sure you get your say as to what type of match we get to see in America in 4 weeks' time for the European Championship. His opponent tonight, after failing to win his Hardcore Championship Scramble, Soulman Akira gets his chance to prove himself against the European champion. He was bloody impressive in that pay-per-view. Came down to the last two. It came down to him and Loki, and unfortunately for him, he was unable to beat Loki. Not that it really mattered in the end, because the real winner of the Hardcore Championship at the end of it wasn't even a part of the match, as SDC, the hero of wrestling, managed to walk away with the Hardcore Championship. But now Soulman Akira maybe now can use that Hardcore Championship that he won to elevate himself forward, and what a way to do that than with a win over the European champion here tonight. It would be a huge, huge victory should he be able to do that. But for Siler Jordan, he can't afford to have any more losses going against him. A huge momentum boost that would give Akira and not Jordan. The bell rings and away we go, and we'll see how this one does go. It's been a while since we've seen Jordan inside the ring. Jordan hasn't really had anyone come and face him yet for the European Championship. Of course, he's been a little bit preoccupied. He's got caught in a little bit of a scuffle over the last couple of weeks with Justice, but then again, who hasn't? And of course, very much... Oh, look at that! Nice little display of strength there by Akira, and did you see those two stare each other down for a moment there? I don't think either of them were expecting that strong of a start from Soulman Akira in the collar and elbow. And that's not, of course, to say that Soulman Akira is weak at all. very strong competitor, but never been one for the collar and elbow. And right now he is doing a great job manhandling Sylar Jordan inside the collar and elbow tie-up. And there's a suplex for the natural-born Thriller, a man who has exploded on the scene here, the winner of the Road to Glory Season 2 tournament, and of course, the second person to take the title from Mason Foster after just 2 months on the Monday Night Mayhem card. Sylar Jordan has had a meteoric rise here in WIW. Will now get to go to the United States of America to defend his European Championship for the first time against Rage, but Rage is a tough competitor, former hardcore champion, former world champion, the first ever world champion, part of one of the more dominating teams in Season 1 in the Dragon Dynasty, before leaving briefly, only to return at the Royal Rumble. Things went downhill for him from there. But as you can see, due to his recent hardcore title success and now being the #1 contender for the European Championship, clearly things are going on the up for him. And right now, things are on the up for Soulman Akira. Not only an impressive performance at last night's pay-per-view, but now an impressive performance straight out the gate here against the natural-born Thriller, Sylar Jordan. I mean, as a lot of you have seen, not many people have actually been able to deal with Sylar Jordan inside the ring. But Jordan's still relatively fresh here. He may be the champion, but he hasn't shown himself against a lot of the roster. And now tonight he gets another opportunity to do just that. Beautifully done there. Air raid siren neck breaker by Sylar Jordan. Now maybe he can get some momentum going. No! Once again, Soulman Akira stepping up. And these two are doing the best they can on both sides. But right now, Sylar Jordan is on the back burner. But it doesn't take long for Sylar Jordan to strike. And he demonstrates that perfectly there with that cutter. And all of a sudden, Soulman Akira on retreat. And that just shows the devastating effect that Sylar Jordan can have. It only needs a couple of moves to kick into effect. And right now, he's riding the wave of momentum that he just managed to develop there. And down goes Akira again. And now Sylar Jordan lining up here for the running knee. Will he be able to find it here on Akira? Perfectly drills his head down there with the running knee. Oh, but it's a rope break. Sylar Jordan didn't look where he was. Poor placement on his part. That was a big mistake there by the European champion in a match that was pretty much won from there. Should he have been able to get it? And now Akira can maybe capitalize. Single leg Boston Crab for the European champion, who's taking a lot of punishment here in this match. Finally gets back into it with that running knee. But a big mistake from him. And now maybe can capitalize a bit further. Submission hold again, but again a rope break. Sylar Jordan not paying any attention to the ropes right now. He needs to be a little bit more aware of his surroundings right now. For the European champion, he's showing signs of weakness here. T-bone suplex by Soulman Akira and into the cover. And he tried to catch him off guard with that quick cover out of the T-bone suplex, but Akira couldn't get the job done. And now Akira, I see what he's setting up for. Looking for the bonsai drop to the champion and into the cover. Has he beaten Sylar Jordan? Oh my god. That was close to a 3 count, but Sylar Jordan, the European champion, finds his way out of it. And Soulman Akira painfully close there to beating the European champion, but now Sylar Jordan starting to get back into a rhythm of things. There's a knee strike. Perfectly placed down, and look at this rolling through. Where on earth has this second wind come from Sylar Jordan? Drives him down onto the knee again. He's using his knees very well in this matchup. And now the submission hold. This time applied in the middle of the ring. Soulman Akira. No rope breaks to save him this time. He's going to have to fight his own way out. If he can, Sylar Jordan has it cinched in the Dragon Sleeper. And he's let it go. He's let it go there. It's interesting from Sylar Jordan. Clearly has something else in mind. Going to his other trusted submission. Beautifully locked in here. Akira already applied pressure from the first submission. And once another one was reapplied, Sylar Jordan had this match won. Perfectly done there by Sylar Jordan. That was absolutely perfect. Realized that first submission wasn't getting it done, released it, and transitioned into a second submission move. Perfect placement there by the European champion Sylar Jordan. And a big win for him here tonight. Soulman Akira What a match he put on, and look how close he came here on the count from the bonsai drop. I thought Soulman Akira was about to knock off the European champion, but a 2 count was the best he could muster on the night, and the European champion gets a huge win here on Mayhem. Oh no, and it looks like his #1 contender is ready to congratulate him here. Not that Siler Jordan's even noticed. Oh God, that wasn't a pleasant thing to turn around to. The man monster that is Rage coming to greet the champion, but the champion not letting him get away with this. Look at this, the champ looking in the submission hold. And look at this Rage. Rage taps. Rage tapped out to it. And look at the champ saying, you want me, come get me. And Siler Jordan sending a message straight back to the challenger who tried to get one up on him. What a showing there from Siler Jordan. Rage tried to ruin his celebrations, but it didn't work out in his favor. Siler Jordan strikes first, but the question is who will strike the hardest when the championship is put on the line in 4 weeks' time in the United States of America. I have no idea. Remember, you guys will get to vote on the stipulation. That will all be dealt with very soon on social media, but a big leap forward for Siler Jordan here tonight on Mayhem. Let's move on down the rest of the card. Next up tonight, a fatal 4-way match between all 4 of the nominees that the general manager selected to be up for the vote as to who will face Brad Skeens. Tonight, this matchup does not matter in terms of the result. I guess it's more of anything proving, all 4 of these members proving they deserve the opportunity, but the general manager, Mort Goldberg, has narrowed the list down to these 4 people for you to decide. All you will have to do is vote for them, and in a few weeks' time, one of these men will face off for the WIW Championship against Brad Skeens in the American pay-per-view that, of course, will be announced with the name very, very soon. The first person up for nomination is Mason Foster, who, of course, risked everything by cashing in his rematch for the European Championship in honor to get a shot and in a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match, was unable to capture it. And unfortunately for him, Mason Foster, he's going to need to find another way back in, maybe to the European Championship picture, but he decided he didn't want to do that. Clearly the general manager sees something in Mason Foster, and he has put him up as nominee #1. He is your first choice. So if you guys want Mason Foster to face Brad Skeens in 4 weeks' time for the WIW Championship, you make that known very, very clear. That needs to be your highest priority. Someone else who you might not have expected to be up for the nomination, but he impressed the general manager and the crowd after his impressive performance in the Hardcore Championship match a few nights ago, was unable to walk away the winner, but he was bloody impressive in that match, that is for sure. Jax Wolf is coming to the ring, of course, and another American who won the European Championship. Oh, he's one of 3 Americans now. I forgot about Jax Wolf. So, yeah, Siler Jordan, Brad Skeens, and Jax Wolf all done it. Jax Wolf very much a hometown man. So if he's going to America, that could be the best place for Jax Wolf to take the WIW Championship. He has proven that he is ready for the task. He proved it at the pay-per-view in that Hardcore Championship 6-pack challenge, where I believe he actually eliminated 2 people, which was quite impressive, and I believe the tied best in that matchup. So for Jax Wolf, he is your second choice. If you guys want someone who you probably weren't expecting to do this, then you gotta do it. You gotta go for Jax Wolf. It would be his first ever opportunity at the world title, and it would be at his home country of America. A huge statement that would be for that man right there. Next man down to the ring, someone who we've already seen encounter Justice and have spent the last year trying to dethrone him, trying to deal with Justice. He hasn't been successful yet, but he is asking and pleading for one more chance as the real deal I knew I was going to say that. The real deal Stephen Miller makes his way down to the ring as nominee #3. He has made it his personal mission to capture the World Championship, but constantly standing in his way is Justice, who have cheated him out of every opportunity to get back into the title picture. Missed out on a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and now this is his next best opportunity. The general manager promised him that he would get another opportunity to potentially go back and face for the championship, and now you guys get the option to do that. If you guys want to see Stephen Miller get one more shot at Brad Skeens at the pay-per-view, you guys have to vote for him when the poll is open. Make sure to make your opinions known. This all comes down to you. This is the power of the people. You need to make sure that your voice is heard, and the person with the most votes will go on to face Brad Skeens for the World Championship at that pay-per-view's main event, more than likely, unless the 4-on-1 handicap match that was announced earlier on tonight is going to take place. And that is in a weird situation. That is a strange decision, and I can't keep dwelling on that all night. Option number 4, someone who has never been able to face for the World Championship, but since his return at the end of season number 1 and into season number 2, this man has been a dominant force. He was caught in a feud with Robert Hall for a long time, recently making it into the Money in the Bank qualifier. Every opportunity he has been given to show what he can do, he has done it. And since his return, he has been in dominant form, but with more of a mean streak. And maybe that's what's needed to conquer the Justice movement. So he is your 4th option, Tyson Jackson. If you want to see Tyson Jackson taking on Brad Skeens for the WIW Championship, be sure to vote for him when the poll opens. Those are your 4 options, and tonight you'll get to see all 4 of them in action. Maybe that'll help sway your decision as to who you're going to vote for. But your options: Mason Foster, Jax Wolf, Stephen Miller, and Tyson Jackson. They're going to all collide for you here tonight, though. The bell rings and away we go. And despite the fact the result doesn't matter here tonight, it could go a long way in swaying a vote one way or another. Plus, it's a great opportunity to see some of these people colliding. Mason Foster and Stephen Miller, 2 top stars in Mayhem. They've been for a long time, getting an opportunity to potentially move up to the world title picture. Mason Foster and Stephen Miller, I believe, have encountered each other in the European division before, but never on the world stage. And now might get the opportunity to do that if one of them could score the pay-per-view. Meanwhile, Jax Wolf and Tyson Jackson, I'd say many people would see these two as the surprise entries, the wild cards in these situations. Mason already trying to get a submission victory, trying to make it quick. Jax Wolf saw it coming and manages to get inside, and now Wolf, oh look at it, oh god! Trying to turn his attention to Foster, but Foster was helped there by a backstabber by the Dragon, and look at that! Flipped into Foster there, and everyone's fighting each other. It's not just singling out everybody here, everybody's going right for each other. And remember, they've got to impress. The winner of the poll will face for the championship that Brad Skeens is currently holding. And yes, Brad Skeens will have hometown advantage, but we'll have to wait and see if they can capitalize on it. Stephen Miller right now going after Mason Foster, and there's a neck breaker. And then all these men, different paths to get to this opportunity, but it's a matter of principle for you guys to vote as who you want. Some of these men have already had their shots at capturing world title opportunities. Mason Foster and Tyson Jackson recently in the Money in the Bank match, unable to grab the briefcase. Stephen Miller, of course, has already had his fair share of title matches against the champion, has been unable to take the title from the Justice team. But when the title is on the line, that's going to be an interesting one. Beautifully done. And everybody's on the outside here, and they're legally allowed to be. Traditional Fatal 4-Way rules, no countouts or disqualifications. It is only one fall to the finish, though, as the result is not the important part here. But you got to imagine that all of these guys are going to believe differently, because results in WIW do get you places. And that's exactly why Jax Wolf is here, of course. His recent results and his recent performances, they haven't all been wins, but they have been very impressive. And there's a big clothesline. Remember, of course, it was Jax Wolf who initially had the idea to take the championship from PJ McNair by ambushing him on his way out of the arena following his Hardcore Championship match. So he's had a bit of success here. He's a former European champion as well. And all these men have had different mixes of success. Siler Jordan. Why do I keep saying Siler Jordan? Steve Miller. It's because I just literally watched Siler Jordan. I've got that name in my head. Steve Miller, of course, has always been competing for the world title and the European title. He's never been able to capture gold here in WYW, though. Maybe now could be his opportunity if you guys see it in him. Jax Wolf, former European champion, former Hardcore champion. Do you think he has the experience to do this? Mason Foster, two-time and longest reigning European champion in history. Hold on a minute. Look at Steve Miller here, ready to fly over the top rope and connects. But meanwhile, Mason in the middle of the ring. There's the DDT. And the hook of the leg, no rope breaks. Gonna save him here. And that's gonna do it as well. Mason Foster wins. And Steve Miller didn't even realize the pinfall was occurring. He was too busy flying on the outside whilst the DDT was connecting. No idea what was going on. And Mason Foster took advantage, landing the DDT. And look, there was the flight, and as you can see in the corner, setting up for the DDT. By the time Foster got back to his feet, he wouldn't have even seen the cover occur. And the two-time European champion gets a huge victory here tonight. He's already beaten the champion once this month already, and now winning against all of his other nominees for the title match. But the win here might mean nothing if you guys decide he doesn't deserve it. Remember, if you guys want any of these four men to face for the WYW Championship in 4 weeks' time at pay-per-view, you guys need to make that known in the vote, and I will make sure to let you guys know when you guys are available to vote. But make sure you guys know what you want to vote for, because it's going to be a great match against Brad Skeens, whoever it is. But Skeens has been put on notice by Mason before. Will Mason now finally get his shot at Skeens? Let's move on down the rest of the card. Main event then, and under the orders of the chairman Blake Costin and the general manager Mort Goldberg, after the unfair finish at the Mayhem Tag Team Championship match of the Uprising pay-per-view, we are going to get the rematch here in tonight's main event. The Chaos Twins get a second chance at facing the Linebacks for the Mayhem Tag Team Championship, and Coach Wilson will not be involved in this match. Rightfully so, he can now use the Freebird rule, as he made it clear that he was doing in the first place. And right now, this alliance between Justice and the Linebacks have mean that the general manager even had to enforce a rule that Justice do not get involved in this matchup. So if anyone gets involved that helps the Linebacks out, it will automatically result in the Chaos Twins becoming the Mayhem Tag Team Champions. And the poor Chaos Twins, who have only just earned their way up to the top. They've been climbing the ladder here on Mayhem for the last couple of weeks after a slow start to life on this new brand for them. And then they get caught in the crossfires when they finally get a championship opportunity. But now Jason and Tyler have one more opportunity to redeem themselves and get back the championship opportunity they have presented to them right now. Can they become Mayhem Tag Team Champions? They are already former Fight Night Tag Team Champions. Can they add to their resume by becoming the Tag Team Champions here on Mayhem again? But they're up against tough opponents. Like I say, no Coach Wilson tonight, in the ring at least. But the man who has made it clear that he wants the general manager position here on Monday Night Mayhem is leading out, of course, your Mayhem Tag Team Champions, Kazarian Zander and Patrick Green, otherwise known as the Linebacks. Green had to do a lot of the heavy lifting in that Uprising pay-per-view match, but it was Coach Wilson who managed to sneak in a DDT and retain the title for his team. And it was, of course, thanks to the distraction of the Justice team who helped him, and it looks like this alliance with Justice has helped keep Wilson in charge, but not only keeping his job, but also potentially helping him get into the general manager position. And right now, the general manager has issued the match. Kazarian Zander, Patrick Green, Lachlan and AD Nathaniel in a 4-on-1 handicap match at the American pay-per-view. No titles on the line, but the stipulation is if the 4-on-1 match happens and the general manager Mort Goldberg's selection loses, then he will have to give up his job and Coach Wilson will be giving it. If not, then the general manager Mort Goldberg will stay in his position of power and things will not change, and everybody will have to listen to him, including the Justice Movement and the Linebacks. Well, it's a 4-on-1. The general manager is giving him way too much leeway there, but nonetheless, we'll get to that in due time. The Mayhem Tag Team Championships are back on the line in this huge main event here tonight. The Chaos Twins, the poor unfortunate victims of all the chaos that has happened, but they like to send chaos of their own, and can they do that by taking the Tag Team Championships away from the Linebacks before they head to America in 4 weeks' time? This could be the only defense of this month for the Tag Team Champions should they be going to the pay-per-view for this 4-on-1 handicap match, which is looking pretty likely, as the general manager has already agreed to it, as much as I very much question his decision. But the Mayhem Tag Team Champions, the 3-time Mayhem Tag Team Champions, have stood tall here and hold on to the titles. Can they do the same again here tonight with a fully strengthened lineup? And Patrick Green probably still a little bit weakened after everything that went down at the pay-per-view last night. Wilson, I can't imagine, is too much better shape after the Avalanche Slam. But the tag team titles are on the line. Who will rise to the occasion here tonight in this Tag Team Championship matchup? Bell rings, and away we go. And look at Xander straight out the gate here with the neck breaker. We will find out now who will be holding the Mayhem Tag Team Championships. Jason and Tyler, rightfully so, after getting caught in all the mess that has happened before, getting their rematch here tonight for the championships. Jason and Tyler, such a tough team to deal with. They have become more and more tough as time has gone on here. It took them a while to settle into life here on the Mayhem brand, but since they have done, they have been a very opposing threat. Tag is made early here. And some good tag team work. Look at this. Oh my god. Hurricane Rana off the top rope and into the powerbomb. And Jason and Tyler, who I'm sure are very frustrated and angry with everything that went down at the pay-per-view, only to find out that it wasn't even about them. It weren't even about the titles for Justice. It was only about getting Mort Goldberg out of power. And now they have the opportunity to do that. Xander and Green won't be defending their titles at the pay-per-view. Instead, they will be in a 4-on-1 handicap match against an opponent of Mort Goldberg's choosing, which is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And maybe that was the ambition tonight behind making him defend his championship. An interesting situation developing there. And it will all come to an eclipse, I guess, in 4 weeks' time at the American pay-per-view. And these wannabe NFL stars returning to America. I don't know if that's where they're originally from, but it's at least where they aspired to be for large portions of their life. So we'll have to wait and see if they can capitalize on the opportunity they've been given here tonight. Green, snapmare takedown. There's a big fist drop. Green and Xander just looking to survive tonight, and they will go into the pay-per-view as Mayhem Tag Team Champions, and more than likely won't even have to defend. A dream situation for them, really. Now look at this. Look at this, Xander. Oh, and a big drop kick out of that suplex. Great tag team work on that end. Can he find a tag to Jason? No, he can't. Tyler trying to stay strong and stand up to the big man. Strikes him down, and now he can get the space to tag in Jason. Jason is in. And Xander now, look at that. Oh, caught in a Hurricane Rana. And Xander has not done a great job here tonight, considering he spent most of the time in the ring. He's not doing a good job of holding off, should I say, the Chaos Twins. And the Chaos Twins, should they lose here tonight, what happens next? Where do they go from here? It's a difficult situation for them. Like I say, they've had to work so hard and beat so many teams just to get the opportunity they got at Uprising. Then it was ruined for them by Justice. And now tonight they get one more chance to get back the tag team titles around their waist. They haven't always been successful as tag team champions. Their only other reign lasted 5 days long. And I'm sure that will be on the back of their minds as they look to become champions again. They want a better reign. They want to be better. They've worked so hard to improve their skills. Xander now trying to crawl, trying to make the tag, but Tyler saw it coming and abandoned his high-flying attempt to make the tag not happen. Now he's going to go back to the top where he wanted to go. And Green, look at this. Green might get himself involved here, but it's not quick enough, and Tyler flies off the top with an elbow drop. Xander and Green are struggling out the gate here, and I think they know it. Xander making a tag now, wisely so. Green comes in. Tyler tried to strike first, though, but Green didn't let him, and a hip toss there plants down Tyler. And right now, Tyler is doing some great work inside the ring, but he can't afford to stay in there too long. That could be very problematic as this night goes on. Green and Xander have him trapped in their corner right now, and that's not the best place to be with the Linebacks there. Linebacks, of course, 3-time Mayhem Tag Team Champions, were briefly Fight Night Tag Team Champions as well. Of course, they had to relinquish it on the same night, so whether it will go down in the history books or not, I don't know. But Xander and Green, they've pretty much done it all in terms of tag team wrestling here in WIW. We will have to wait and see how things progress. Jason and Tyler trying desperately everything they can think of to win the tag team championships here tonight. Green and Xander are tough opponents. Never mind with Coach Wilson on their side. And never mind with a win previously off the back of the pay-per-view. Jason and Tyler can't be at 100%. Green can't be at 100% either. Xander probably the freshest man, which gives them instantly an advantage. But Xander isn't doing a great job here tonight. Wilson, I don't know what kind of state he's in. He didn't take a lot of hits last night, but he was struggling every time he got into the ring. So maybe he is feeling the effect still. I can't imagine at his age he didn't feel anything. But then again, we've seen Coach Wilson. This dude is a nut job. Look at Green here. Big slam down. And Tyler Chaos lands back first on the apron. That's going to do some damage. Remember, tag team championships are on the line. Green and Xander and the Chaos Twins battling it out. And the chairs come into play here. Wilson distracting the referee. Oh, no, my God! I didn't even see the chair come into play until just then, at the perfect time as well, as Green using Wilson's distraction to bring in a chair shot. And still, the Linebacks proving there's nothing they won't resort to keeping the tag team championships. Wilson, who wants to be a general manager of all things, proving exactly why he believes he should be. And now to the top here. Oh, God, he's going big here, Green. Look at this. He's already had a chair shot to him. And now you're going to do this to him as well. Outside superplex. And that combination with the chair shot as well gives the Linebacks control. And Green is saying enough is enough. He wants to end the night for the Chaos Twins here, but still fighting on, true fighters. And I'm not even sure why Wilson was willing to make that distraction there. Remember, champion's advantage is in favor of the Linebacks tonight. Should the Linebacks win via count out, or win or lose via count out or disqualification, they will retain the Mayhem Tag Team Championships. But still opting to try and do this with a clean 1-2-3, I guess. Or as clean as it gets. Referees at a count of 7 here. Might end up in a count out situation. Green now crashing him into the barricade. And maybe trying to take him out now for a count out. Can he get that? Look at Tyler though. There's the counter and he flips him onto the stairs. The count of 9. It's alright, but it's not going to do it. What's he doing? Big mistake from the Chaos Twins. And look at that. They know what a huge mistake that was. They've won the match, but they've won it on count out. Meaning Xander and Green via Champions Advantage keep the tag team titles. A huge error from Jason and Tyler, and they know it. Look at the devastation on their faces. And Xander and Green, they will be delighted that they have just retained the titles in that fashion. Jason and Tyler, I don't know what's next for them. I don't know what's next for the tag division. But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up a crazy night of Mayhem action. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like if you did. Comment your thoughts and feelings on tonight's show. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.